And we are back here at TSF Entertainment. Once again, it's your boy DJ Fresh, Your Highness, and I'm joined by none other than the man himself, Retro CG. What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother? How are you today?
I'm doing all right, and yourself?
I'm okay. It's Friday.
Yes,
Turn up.
thank God. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God.
Uh, there you go. Pop that bottle. Let's get into it.
Let's get into
We
it.
are bringing to you Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, Episode 303 Human Capital First Thoughts. These are our first thoughts, but before we get into that, we are going to hit you with that intro and we'll be right back. And we are back. Once again, like I said, these are the first thoughts of episode 303 Human Capital First Thoughts. Retro CG, the floor is yours. What's your first thoughts of this whole episode?
I like the episode. I really like the episode. And for some reason, I feel like we are further along than episode 3. Like, I feel like we're on like episode 5 or something because so much has happened in just 2 episodes that I feel like we talked about a lot of things in our what to expect video for the season that we've seen already happen in the first 2 episodes. So I feel like the pacing is moving much faster than what we're used to with Ghost. I know Really B said last week that she felt like the pacing was moving too fast, but I actually like the accelerated writing because we're not spending a whole season, a half a season, dragging out storylines that we already knew how they're going to turn out. So I'm really feeling the pace that the writing is going.
I agree with you on that one. I'm actually liking it. And I think now because they know probably from previous seasons, this thing that people have said about them dragging out stuff, saying, um, within the seasons and the episodes. But you're right though, because like you said, it felt like we're on episode 5, but we're only on 3. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. So
we've got so many answers.
So many answers with so many questions that still need to be answered. But I'm definitely digging this episode. We're gonna jump right into it. Effie, what the hell is going on?
Effie says she needs some racks on racks on racks. Effie says she needs some racks on racks on racks. Effie says she got a safety number that she got in her mind that she needed for college, grad school. She needs some mad money. And Effie ain't comfortable. The money ain't looking right for Effie. Effie is out here stepping on product. She trying to get a little side hustle going on up here at Stansfield. She already got her crew out here pushing weight for her. Effie says she bought them dollars. Where them dollars at? Effie trying to get that guap.
I don't know what the hell is going on with Effie. I'm not going to get into it fully. We'll save that for Sunday. But something's going on with Effie. I cannot put my finger on it quite yet. But something's going on with Effie. I don't know. Like,
you sound like Miss Honey now.
Like it is. It's like, and it's not the whole CI stuff. Like, no, there's something else. There's some story that I feel like is going to come out. Something. It's just something. It's just something in the back.
I feel like it's no different than what we're used to with the character. I feel like it's no different than how we met her in Power. And I think that her character is written that way because she's an orphan and she's used to being a loner. So even though she's working with the team and she's part of the team, she's still going to move sides. She's still going to move in a different direction than everyone else. She played her position on the team, but at the end of the day, she got her own agenda, she got her own goals, and how she wants to get there. I kind of like the way Effie moves. She's a loner. And she knows, just like she told Diana in this episode, like, listen, yeah, I told you that Tariq wasn't good for you, but me and Tariq are different. Like, but at the end of the day, like, she already know that Tariq probably ain't the type of person that she need to be with anyway, but because they in that life and they out here moving his work and his weight,
Yeah.
It's eat or be eaten.
Yeah.
And
I
she's a
agree.
female. And she's
Yeah.
a female, so she can't come across as just a pretty face. So, she got to be able to stick and move. And I think Effie does a great job at sticking and moving.
She definitely does. But it's just I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something. We're going to get into Kane. I felt like this episode,
Let me see where you're going with that. Let me see how
and I'm
you
not
feel
going to get
about
into
that.
it fully till Sunday, but I feel like this episode was the introduction into Kane. Like, we get to see him, like he is, I guess, in quote unquote, which we saw he wasn't, but quote unquote, like the mastermind behind everything. It's like we get to saw, like, we're now get to see, like, if he was running things, how stuff would work or would happen.
He's making boss moves, but he's still sloppy. And he's doing too much. I'm going to save my thoughts on Kane this episode. Up until today, Kane had given me a little bit of hope, but now I kind of see Kane back to moving. He's moving a little too fast, and he's so hot headed. It's just like with the whole situation with Braden. He pulled up on Braden. He automatically assumed, even though it was Tariq. I mean, he just overreacts to everything. He doesn't do things strategically. In order for you to be a kingpin,
you
can't always go with your first thoughts and reaction. And Kane is just still that loose cannon, rabbit, wild dog type of persona. Like, you so quick to assert your authority in every situation. Like, even at the family dinner, he had to pretty much son Lorenzo in front of everybody. Like, you spending too much time and you creating dissension where Lorenzo is going to get the advantage of you again. If Lorenzo doesn't get out of the way soon, Lorenzo gonna flip this shit on Kane. So Kane, you need to move a little different.
Yeah, it was like, dang, I want to get into it without getting into it.
Just give me a little sneak peek. Sneak peek.
But this episode really showed why Lorenzo did not pick Kane.
Yep.
Like, it showed automatically, like, throughout the entire episode, it showed like, yo, this is why he picked Drew and why he didn't pick you. And like, you holding this over Lorenzo's head, it's like, I got a feeling in the end, it's going to come back to bite him. Next, we get into Whitman. He got to go.
Rabbit dogs.
He got to get his water cut off. Whitman got to go.
Whitman he don't lost his mind.
What was crazy to me was he got on Jenny and Blanca about them being so in their feelings. Yeah, about Tariq, but you're going after Monet so heavy because of Carrie. So it's like, bro, like, what are we talking about here? Like,
Whitman is very unique, and the way he moves is very unique. He uses strong arm tactics to illustrate his points. We know that he's knocking on the right doors, and everything that he's saying is 100. But at the same time, he's very rude. He's rude. Like, some of his little comments he made, like, yo, Monet should have just like chopped him in the throat. like your nephew's son, and he's very disrespectful. He comes across very disrespectful, but it's like we said, like Monet and the Tejadas, they move so sloppy, Kane included. They
Yep.
move so sloppy and they leave a trail that's, Ghost and Tommy would never left a trail like this where someone could come up to them and say, this happened in truth. Look how many bodies failed out in truth. And nobody never knew about any of that. They know about every murder that took place over there at Monet's bar.
All of it. Like it's just a reoccurring cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ongoing.
Whitman, his feelings, like I said, has clouded his mind, and he is hell bent on Monet, which we all saw. He just wants Monet, because he even said it to them like I'm sorry, not Monet. Carrie was one of us.
Yep.
And I was thinking like, no, she wasn't. She was a teacher. She
But
wasn't.
prior to that, she was a prosecuting attorney. She
Okay.
worked for the district attorney's office
Okay.
prior to her
That's
taking
right.
a teaching position at Stanfield. And I got to go back and watch season 1. They explained why she wasn't practicing law anymore, but she had a law degree and she was a lawyer. That's how her and Davis hooked up, because they were opposing counsel. He was a defense attorney. She was a prosecutor. So, but I feel like I'm going to save this for Sunday, all my details regarding it. But I feel like Whitman might be that one that crosses the line completely. Like, I feel like he's going to end up being in where if I can't beat them with the law, then I'm just going to take her out myself. Like, I feel like he's that obsessed with trying to pin something on Monet that he's either going to try to make an attempt on her to unalive her, or he's going to try to pin some charges on her or something. They're going to have to end up taking him out.
So basically, he's going to be like how Sax was with Ghost and Power.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not too far off. I can see that.
But even worse.
Yeah, he was worse. And speaking of Davis, it all comes out. Rollins is his brother, and he literally, which I think is going to come back to haunt him, and I'm going to save more on that. But he comes out to Sax about Rollins, his brother, being in jail and everything about it. I didn't like that scene. It was just like, why? I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of underlying story with that whole scene, but I'm thinking now, after this, Davis is going to realize like how deep he's in everything.
Yeah. At first, I thought he was going to jump to the chase and give Sax a little bit of the runaround. It really surprised me that he came clean about the whole manslaughter and his brother taking the charge and everything, and him being the one that actually committed crime. Part of me feels like he's testing the waters with Sax to see what Sax is going to do with that information, if he's going to try to extort him, if he's going to try to reveal that information. So I think part of it is twofold. One, he came clean. Two, he felt like he had to come clean in order for Sax to continue to work this case and not, dig deeper than he wanted him to dig. It's like, okay, I'm not going to let you hold something over me. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there before you get an opportunity to put it out there. So part of me feels like Davis was more so testing Sax to see what Sax was going to do with that information. But at the same time, he really does have faith that Sax is going to be able to get his brother out. At this point, he's desperate. He's willing to do anything it takes to get his brother out.
Yeah, he literally
as he should.
As he should. And last but not least, none other but the queen herself, Monet. Bruh,
I'm just glad she wasn't at home watching Judge Faith this week.
Bruh,
at the bar, she was trying to do a little work.
It was just like, yo, I was sitting there watching, and I'm like, yo, like, are you purposely trying to get caught? Like, you're just giving this, like, this man is hell bent on you, and you're just giving him vital information. And they was
in a direction that he didn't need to be focusing.
That he did not need to be focused on. And like you said earlier, the Tejadas are so sloppy. Like, the only smart one is Drew.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we ain't even gonna get into. We'll get into that Sunday because that whole. I'm still trying to like it.
Let me ask you a
Uh,
question.
Drew stuff was just extra this episode. It wasn't even needed.
First thoughts. TA and Diana. What are we getting with the storyline?
Without going into like full detail, I'm kind of feeling when Kane questioned her about him, I'm kind of feeling like, and I think it was you who said this in last week's episode, that he works for Noma because it's just kind of all convenient how it's just kinda all convenient how he comes with the picture, says, "Hey, you don't move this, we're gonna kill her." It's gonna be the first person,
And
which is Diane.
that made it even worse because in the preview we only saw a picture of Diane, but in this episode we saw that it was the Westons, Tariq grandmother, and Diane in the middle. And the fact that the TA started asking questions about her family, I mean, it just my antennas shoot up.
I didn't even I thought about it, but then at the same time I didn't pay attention to it. But it really didn't hit me until not Drew. Kane said something about like, yo, how much you really know about him? And I was like, well, why the hell would he be asking? And I was like, yo, you know what? Like, dude been trying to get super duper close. He said, I Googled you because you wouldn't tell me. And I'm like, you don't even know her, dude. Like what you doing? Like, you doing the history, and then like you up in the room and Lorenzo pops up, and I was like, okay. I thought Lorenzo was about to handle, like, but you know, I guess because she's in whatchamacallit. But yeah, man, I'm starting to agree with you, Retro. Like, I'm starting to think he works for Noma.
Yep.
Like or if he don't work for Noma, he works for matter of fact, did they ever even say dude's name? The one that came in that I don't even think I don't think we got a name for him.
I just feel like Diana is the weak link. She's the weak link.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the TA is going to. I'll save it for Sunday. All I'm going to say is I feel like the TA is manipulating her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm falling for you, or I'm catching feelings for you, or whatever. He got a job up at the candy shop. I just feel like all that's too coincidental. He got out of the books. So she's going to end up falling for him. But really, he's the ops.
Yeah.
He's the ops in some way, shape, form, or fashion, even if he's not working for Norma. I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Even if he's not working for Noma, he is the ops.
Yo.
Watch what I say.
I'm okay. You saying that? I'm saving that for Sunday. I'm saving it for because you just made something in my head.
What did you feel about the crew this week? How did you feel about the crew? What was your first thoughts on the crew and how they were moving? And it seems like they're struggling a little bit, even though they moved a good bit of weight. It doesn't seem like they even put a dent in it.
I mean, this week, like I said, this episode, I felt like I don't want to say all secrets, but it's kind of like all the secrets are starting to get revealed because remember Effie goes to Brayton and say, "Hey, yo, did you get him removed off of the thing with Tate?" And he, yeah. I mean, the crew. I'll say this: Kane is moving sloppy. Drew is so. About to say something. He's so hurt right now over the whole Everett thing. Like he just going
lashing out at whatever.
Like when Kane came off the elevator, said another one. I was just like, well, damn, what the hell is going on? I think as far as like Effie Tariq and Brayton, like they're moving cohesively in a sense as a unit. Tejadas aren't. Like they all over the place right now. And with Kane holding that stuff over Lorenzo's head, I think it's only going to make it worse. Like it's at some point it's going to, and I also think because we'll still talk about it that at some point Drew and Diana are going to figure out because from that dinner sit down, they looking at each other like,
What the fuck going on?
yeah, exactly. So I think at some point that's all going to come out. But overall, I kind of like the way they moved. However, at some point, Braden, you're going to have to drop a body.
And that's what Kane told him.
That's what he told him. And I was mad that Tariq jumped the gun and did it. I was hoping like he was gonna cover himself up or something, and that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
it was just like as soon as he did it, I was like, "Yo, well, everything all messed up." I was like,
"That whole now answers the question because all their faces were seen, so it answers the question as to why we get the shootout at the funeral."
Ooh, you're thinking. I didn't even. Oh man,
that's
did not even think of that.
They didn't clean up a full mess because they left witnesses behind.
Oh man,
they left a mess.
I did not even think of.
Man. We'll save it for Sunday.
We're gonna save it for Sunday because now I got
Sunday. I got more.
Now I got some more thoughts. Now that
you gotta go back and do that rewatch. You gotta go back and do that rewatch and put the pieces of the puzzle together because they leave big puzzle pieces out there for us to put the puzzle pieces together. So, shout out to Jabinga Akinobe joining the cast as what was his name? R3S.
What's his name? RS3?
RSJ, I think his name.
RSJ. That was his name. RSJ.
He's supposed to be some billionaire tycoon that's going to get intermingled. Shout out to him. I haven't seen him in a good minute, but I remember him from The Wire. I remember him as Chris from The Wire. You remember him from
Lottery Ticket.
Lottery Ticket. So shout out to see him back.
He was a Debo in Lottery Ticket. That's the last thing I vividly remember him from was the Lottery Ticket. Yeah, he was the whatchamacallit. I think I'm hoping maybe we'll see a little bit more of his character.
Yep.
But who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, but final thoughts, episode rated. I guess I would rate it maybe 8 out of 10.
I was gonna give it an 8.5, so we're on the same page.
Same page.
Same page. Same page.
Okay. All right, everybody. Like I said, this is our first thoughts, just to let y'all know what we thinking about after watching the episode. Y'all, please make sure to come back Sunday and join us for our live with our other TSF Entertainment co-hosts. Our panelists, we're going to discuss this in more depth. We're going to have a larger discussion about this episode on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all please make sure to come back. And while y'all at it, please make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. It's nothing to do any of that. And if you haven't, please make sure you do. And if you have any thoughts or any valid points you want to make or saying something, please drop them in the comments and we will definitely make sure to look at them and we will definitely talk about it on Sunday's show. With that being said, I'm DJ Fresh Your Highness. This is Retro CG and we are out.